Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of our program Languages of the World, the English language. Actually there are four important skills that you need to learn in any languages, that you study actually. These are reading, listening, speaking and writing. So writing is one of the most important skills that you should be working on. It facilitates your life actually, and it provides you with a lot of benefits that you will know the importance of as you go through the language. Let me first welcome my guest, Ms. Heba. Hello, Ms. Heba, and welcome to the program.
Hi, yes, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. First of all, I'd like you to tell me more about how important writing is.
Actually, writing is very important in our lives because when you go working, you have to write, for example, emails, you have to write some reports. If you are studying, you have to write research, you have to write pieces of composition. So it's very important because we communicate mostly with writing. You can write in chatting, okay, and you can write in a lot of cases. So it's important.
Usually the way we speak is different from the way we write. So I guess when we speak, we are forgiven if we make mistakes, but in writing it's different.
Actually, exactly. But in academic writing, it is different, especially if you are writing this as a report for your company or as an assignment for your studies. So yes, you have to be sure that your writing is accurate.
Actually, this is one of the most difficult skills for learners of any language. So I'd like you to tell us how to be good at writing.
Well, actually, we are taking today how to write an essay, and as you said that it is a very difficult, skill because it's a reproductive skills. When you are producing something like speaking or writing, these are the most difficult skills of English or any language.
So how to start?
Well, here we will have some steps for writing an essay. Actually, an essay in Arabic is called maqal. Also, it has another word that they call it article. So we have both. They mean the same thing.
Is it the same? I mean, writing in English, is it the same as writing in Arabic?
In English, you have the punctuation issue, the capital letters and small letters. We don't have this in Arabic, but still we have the punctuation, meaning full stop, exclamation marks, and end marks. Yes, we have this in Arabic.
I'm not talking about punctuation. I'm talking about the way we write.
The ideas, you mean? Yes, mostly the same in anything because you have to organize your ideas, and you have to start with an introduction, then you have to conclude with a conclusion, and you write paragraphs. Yes, mostly the same.
Some people might say, well, why should I bother? Why should I try to learn how to write? I could just type any text on Google, for example, and I'll get the text translated.
Well, if you want this text for yourself or your usage, it's okay. But if you want to submit this in your university or in your school or in your company, I think you will have a lot of trouble because these Google things are not expressing your ideas. They are fake or they are artificial, and writing is creative. It should be personal.
Yeah, so we have to point out something here that you should never depend on electronic translation.
Depending on electronic translation puts you in a lot of trouble because of the multiple meanings of each English word.
Yeah.
So if you have a lot of meanings for the same word.
So you come up with a very funny text.
Very funny and very related and sometimes could be misunderstood. Yes, a lot of troubles can happen.
All right, so let's get started and see how to begin, how to write correctly. Especially, we're talking here about writing an essay. Is writing an essay different from writing a paragraph?
A paragraph is part of the essay, actually. Writing a paragraph, like in Arabic, it's faqra, just a part of the essay. Essay consists of a lot of paragraphs, starting from 3 paragraphs to more, according to the subject. Yes, the paragraph is part of the essay. The essay is kind of more than 1 paragraph.
Should we have fixed phrases to start writing a piece of writing?
No, I don't recommend this because by the time these phrases become cliché or something overused. So no, I don't recommend this because it's kind of, like very old way of writing to start with like for example, there is no doubt this, that, becomes a cliche, and in standard, in the academic writing, we consider it a mistake, using overused sentences or phrases.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to be creative and write what you have in mind, but in kind of organized way.
So we're talking now on formal writing.
Yes, academic. Academic writing, I call it academic because it is not addressing, you don't have, in the formal and informal, you write in letters or emails. We consider it formal or informal. But in the essay, it is mostly academic, or you can call formal.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, it's interesting, but needs a kind of little focus. Well, we can start that writing is not a skill. It is kind of an art, like the painters who paint, or the musicians who need notes. The writers also need the words, and so carefully selected words are the tools that a writer uses. So we have to have a lot of words, or a decent quantity of words or vocabulary to start writing something. We will call the writing an essay, writing a 5-paragraph essay. This is what we are dealing with today, writing a 5-paragraph essay. We call it 131. What the meaning of 131? First, paragraph 1, which is the introduction to the essay. It includes a hook statement. You know, the word hook means, you know, the hook that we use in fishing or in attracting the fish. So exactly the same, in the introduction of an essay, you need something to attract the reader. So we call it a hook statement. This tells what the essay will tell you about, and what we call thesis statement or the topic statement.
So it could hook or not.
Exactly, according to your style. Then we have paragraphs 2 and 3 and 4, and this could be also just one paragraph. But here we are dealing with 3 body paragraphs. We call them body paragraphs because they are the paragraphs that support your topic with detailed statements or sentences. Then at the end we have the paragraph that ends all of it, which is the conclusion or the concluding paragraph. It is summing up of all the essay or giving your own opinion according to the type of essay.
All right, this is about the structure of
the layout.
What about the inside, the input, how to write, what words to use? Are we, for example, obliged, or is it necessary that we use a lot of literal language and flashy expressions?
We will know this. We have all written here. We can start by the introduction, how we write it in a, not a flashy way, but in a hooking or grabbing the attention way. You hook your reader and make them want to read more. So you have to include a detailed sentence that explains what the reader is about to hear more about. You can end with a strong, clear statement. So in the introduction, you use these hooks. If you begin your essay with something that grabs the attention, your reader will want to read it. So how do you write an attention grabber, or that hooks your readers so they want to keep reading? How do we do this? Here are 4 ways of writing a hook or attention grabber. First thing, you can surprise the reader. You can surprise him with something he doesn't know. You can ask a question, or you can use a quotation, and we have talked about the quotations before. Or you can use descriptive words. Coming to your question about what words we use, descriptive, adjectives mostly. So how to surprise the reader? We can start by something unknown or interesting fact. Like if we are writing an essay about dogs, for example, we say dogs are the pet of choice in the American household. This is kind of a new information for the reader, that dogs are the mostly chosen pets in America.
I would start something like this by saying, it is a known fact that a dog is a man's best friend.
You can say something surprising, yes, by, for example, objecting all the ideas of people. You can give something different. Okay, or we can start with something expected, not a surprise. We can say, for example, cats are loving, quiet creatures, but dogs make way better beds. So this could be something expected. Or we can say something, as you said now, something contradictory. Like, for example, we can say each day over 1,000 US citizens require emergency treatment for serious dog bite injury. So daily 1,000 citizens are suffering from serious dog bite injury. So this is kind of something contradicting. We have what we want to say about that dogs are good pets.
Yeah.
So this is something contradictory. Or we can ask a question. For example, I can ask, isn't it surprising how many different communication modes are available to us today? Or isn't it surprising that we can't leave our cell phone for 5 minutes? So it is kind of a question. And this kind of a question doesn't need an answer in most cases. We call it rhetorical, or it doesn't need an answer from the reader.
Or maybe the writer, himself or herself, is going to explain it or is going to give an answer.
Yes, can give the answer in the essay. Okay? You can ask something that needs an answer, so the reader wants to find out what it is. This is what you have just said. So it could be a question without an answer, but will make the reader think, or you are gonna to tell the answer along the essay. For example, why do citizens need to follow laws? So you will explain all of this in the essay. Then we can use a quotation, and we have a lot of quotations for famous people. You can Google this, but you can Google a quotation related to your subject. If you want to make a research, an actual research, you Google some quotations, some proverbs that are related to the subject, and use them in your writing. A quotation interests the reader because of what it says, or because who said it. So you can depend on the content of the quotation or the person who said it. You can use a wise or funny quotation, but it should relate to the topic. So you have to, for example, Albert Einstein once said, and you can say that.
This reminds me of something here. When we speak, we usually have some kind of mood, dominating our conversation in a particular situation. What about writing? Do we convey a certain kind of mood in our writing?
It depends upon the type of the essay. Actually, we will not talk about the types of essay today, but actually we have the narrative essay, for example. If you're writing a narrative essay, it's kind of a story, and of course the mood has a lot to do with the narrative essay. Your mood could be gloomy, your mood could be cheerful, so you affect the essay by your mood if it is a narrative essay. If it is argumentative, means that pros and cons, people with and people against, your mood should not interfere. You couldn't be biased. You have to be objective. If you are talking about the opinion essay, of course your mood or your opinion would interfere. So it depends upon the type of essay we are writing. We can deal with this later in other episodes, the types of essays, but mainly we are dealing today with the layout or the main frame or the main rules of writing this essay. So yes, of course, the mood interferes in types of essays, not all.
Yeah, okay. What else?
Okay. Also, we can use descriptive words. Here we make the reader see the scene or feel like part of it. Words that relate to the 5 senses. We have to use words that relate to the 5 senses if you want to grab the attention or let the reader want to read more. We can use words that show how something is happening, like adverbs and adjectives. We can use figurative words, and figurative اللي هي تعبير الجمالية, like التشبيه, metaphors, like personification, تشخيص. We can use these things in our essay just to make it more descriptive or more vivid with imagery.
What about sometimes, you have to or you need to say something by using the same words again and again? In this case, repeating words. Is it okay in writing to repeat one word more than once or twice?
Okay, in the repetition, it is considered a mistake in writing if you repeat a word more than twice in the same paragraph. Of course, if you are talking about dogs, it is naturally that you repeat the word dogs frequently, but not in the same sentence.
You could use another word.
You can use a pronoun then. But some words, if you repeat them more than twice in one paragraph, this would be considered a repetition, and this is a flaw or a mistake in writing.
So how to avoid it?
You can avoid it by synonyms, by giving other words.
Using synonyms.
Synonyms, or referring to with pronouns.
So synonyms are words that have the same meaning.
Yes, exactly. Or giving antonyms.
Yeah.
You can give the opposite, so to express the same word but in its opposite form, or you can use a pronoun.
So this is not a good style in writing when you repeat words?
No, of course not. It's a considered mistake. Yes.
Okay.
Because this means that you are not rich in words. Okay, so if you give synonyms, this would make it better. For example, if you want to say beautiful and you keep repeating beautiful, 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 this is boring.
There are so many ways
There are many ways to
express this.
Exactly, yes, exactly. So let us begin. So start by writing a clear thesis statement and a hook sentence. And also in the essay we have what we call transition sentences or transition words. This is when you move from paragraph to the other. You don't stop on a paragraph then start the other just like this. You have to like move smoothly to the other paragraph. Like using words like first in the first paragraph, then the other paragraph you can say also or on the other hand. So you have to move smoothly from paragraph to the other by using what we call transition words.
Yeah.
So if we are going to give a thesis statement or the topic statement about dogs, we can say it, mention in this sentence or statement the topic, which is dogs. Then we say a claim. What is a claim? What we want to say.
Like
or want
an opinion, for example.
Opinion.
Yeah.
Then we have to mention the support of this opinion. For example, dogs are the ideal house pet. So, dogs is a topic. The ideal house pet is the claim. This is what I want to say. They are the perfect house pet because this is my support. They are wonderful companions, are easy to care for, and can be trained. Here I gave 3 supporting reasons. And those are the reasons I want to talk about in 3 separate paragraphs. So in this case, I write a paragraph about how they are wonderful companions, another paragraph about how easy to care for, and the third one will be about how they can be trained.
And it's up to us to decide if we use the
3 paragraphs or 2.
No, I'm talking here about the plural. For example, I can talk about the dog by saying a dog. A dog is
yes, you can.
a family's best, or whatever you said,
yes,
pet,
sure.
for example. Yes. Or dogs are.
Yes. No, it's up to you. But try to keep the same all the essay.
Yeah.
For example, if you start by a dog, don't come and say the dogs. So you have to...
Yeah, for me, I prefer here to use the singular for...
Up to you. Also, it is a style. It's your style which dominates. So you have to keep the consistency.
Because, you know, when we... this is something we have to point out here. We can refer to one, for example, species of animal by using the singular. So if I say a dog, here I mean any kind of dog.
Yes.
All right. A cat, for example, is the same. So I refer to all cats by using a dog or a cat.
Yeah, of course. So you refer to the general speeches by either
if I say,
the
for
singular
example,
or the
horse
plural.
is a beautiful animal.
Of course, not horses.
Here I'm not talking about one particular horse or one horse. I'm talking about the whole species.
Using article A, yes, you are talking about the whole species. So it depends on your style. So as we said, when we finish this introduction by giving a question or giving a hook or the thesis, then we start writing our body paragraphs. The first one will be about dogs making great companions, as I said. The second will be about dogs being easy to care for. Then the fourth will be about how dogs can be trained. Then this gets us to the conclusion. We have always, we need always to conclude our essay. We can't leave it like this. So your conclusion should restate the points made in your introductory paragraph. So the conclusion is a kind of repetition of the introduction, but in other ways. You can go back through your essay and summarize your main points. Or you can give your opinion. So to wrap it all together, you restate your points, then you give your opinion about what you have just mentioned. So this is how we write the essay, actually.
Yeah, so a conclusion, it doesn't have to be long.
No, it doesn't have. It's always the shortest paragraph. Mostly the shortest paragraph.
Yeah, but there are some words, you know, like in conclusion or to conclude.
Yeah, we can use this. These are transition words, as we said. We have some transition words. For example, when you move from paragraph to the other, as I told you, we can use however, which means the opposite idea, we can use therefore on one hand. We can use also in addition to add to the idea. All these are acceptable. In the conclusion, we can say to sum up, to wrap up, finally, in conclusion.
But I guess throughout the whole essay, our ideas should be like arranged.
Yeah, of course.
Well arranged.
And this is why I recommend before you write your essay, you make a layout for it, for your ideas, to know in bullets only what you are going to mention.
And so one thing should lead to the other.
Exactly.
And in this case, we cannot, for example, change places, change sentences. So it will not be good if we, for example, exchange the sentences. So we
actually it depends. If they are examples, just examples, you can make the examples. But if you are moving from one idea, a cause to the effect, then coming to the same cause, you are here mixing in a kind of confusing mixture.
And if you omit
yes.
one, sentence,
yes.
then the whole thing will be affected.
This we call in writing coherence or harmony.
Yeah.
The harmony of writing.
So it should be cohesive.
Yes.
Yeah. How to make our writing or essay cohesive? And what is cohesive?
As I said, you feel like you are moving from one idea to the other smoothly without feeling that something is blocking your way. So I mentioned the causes, for example, if you are talking about smoking, the causes and effects. I move from the causes to the effects. I can't mix between all of these. So when you are organizing your idea, you attain this cohesive form or the unity. You feel like harmony and unity in the essay. So because when we are correcting, for example, any writing, we care about some points. We have to care about the layout, as I told you, introduction and the paragraphs and conclusion. We care about the language itself, the vocabulary used, not repetition, the cohesive.
Yeah, so there's something important you didn't mention, which is editing or revising.
Of course.
What you've written, because this is very important. When you edit or when you revise, the word revise, by the way, has different meanings in different parts of the world. For example, in British English, if you revise, it's like you check again, or you read again, or you study something again. Like we have some revision, for example.
Yes, exactly.
Revision in America means like you go through something again and edit it.
Yes.
All right. So editing here is included in the word revise. So it's very important to revise or to edit what we've written so as to avoid any mistakes before we send or before anybody else reads what we've written.
Exactly, and don't depend on the revision of the computer or the spelling check of the computer. It's not all about spelling.
No, it's not all about spelling.
It has a lot of other things, yes.
Yeah, and we can also change some words, add some nice expressions, make sure our spelling is correct. These are all important things.
Of course, and the grammar also. The grammar here is very important because it's academic. So all of the grammar should be very good.
Yeah, and we also should not copy blocks of writing from other places.
Plagiarism, theft. Yeah. This is considered theft. If you take a whole part, copy-paste from somewhere and put it in your essay, if you're writing something academic, you will submit to a university or something like this, this is considered theft. Yeah. So you have, if you like an idea, you can paraphrase
it. Yeah,
paraphrase
it in your own
exactly.
words.
But to take it copy-paste, this is
I hope on another episode you'll bring us written texts already, so we can analyze them.
Sure, definitely.
Right. Thank you very much, Ms. Heba, for being with us.
Thank
you for all this information.
Thank you.
And with this, everybody, we come to the end of our episode. We'll be seeing you again on another episode. So until then, have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.